What if episode
5?
What if everyone became zombies?
Finally got the zombie episode. And you know what? I'm kind of glad of the way that they did it, because I was a little unsure if they're going to be like, oh, it's just a random virus, which I guess they still kind of did. But it was just like, oh, a virus occurred and then everybody became zombified. But I love the fact that it starts off with it being with Jane Van Dyne and Hank Pym and them going in to get her and just becoming the zombie. But I think this was actually the scariest versions of zombies that I've ever seen, because they have all their faculties, but they're just flesh hungry, which is terrifying. Because I can live with like the zombies of the original zombies, slow, bulking, even the ones that were from that we got, basically the Walking Dead ones, quickish, but whatever. Or what was that movie where they were like super fast? You know, like say that again.
28 days and 28
days
later.
Zombies, right? You know, where they're but they didn't have their faculties. They were just weirdly enhanced. These ones had their faculties together. So like, it's one thing to be a zombie. It's another whenever it's like a zombie plus you know how to use your power. Like that was a little WTF for me.
Well, it's straight up front, right? Bruce Banner steps out, and all of a sudden there is Doctor Strange zombie doing what Doctor Strange does. So right up the front, it makes it clear that they can do that.
These are the most dangerous zombies ever. Also, speaking of which, I believe this is clearly a world where Thor dies, because this is after the events that they dropped. Thor, Thanos attacked the shit, and Thor took Banner down to Earth with the Rainbow Bridge.
Yeah, there's lots of questions around. There's lots of questions surrounding this. What do you think, JP?
I don't remember how like it started in the comic books, the Marvel Zombie comic books, but I think it was pretty cool how they made an origin story like for it. Freaking scary. Yeah, it reminds me of 28 Days Later or World War Z zombies. Fast.
Yeah, World War Z.
Yeah, I like this one. I really like this one.
Yeah.
And the ending was really like. The ending's like.
Yeah. There's still lots of. I mean, as you're saying with Thor and stuff, there's lots of questions around. It almost poses more questions than it answers in all kinds of ways. Like, what's Thor doing? How does Thanos get infected? That was one of the questions.
No, that's what made this virus the craziest one of them all, because of the fact that they made it a quantum virus. Like, it was the beginning of the episode. That's what you love. Like when Banner goes down and he comes out and he sees Maul and the other Thanos soldier, and then the Avengers come. And then all you see is like, and then you just see their hands just going down, because the virus is able to bite through their skin. This virus is powerful enough to go through Titans as well. And that's how you get.
It didn't go through Banner.
It didn't go through Banner, but Banner's gamma, which clearly gives him some level of protection.
What I'm questioning is, though, Thanos already had those 5 Infinity Stones. How come he didn't do anything to stop himself from being infected, right?
He probably just didn't react fast enough.
Surprise.
He probably didn't react fast enough, you know? He probably tesseract himself down to Earth, and then as soon as he leaped into like the middle of a bunch of zombies. One of them probably bit him, because all you need apparently is just a cut, as we saw with Jane Van Dyne. You just need the cut, and then all of a sudden you're infected. You know,
my only way of thinking around the Thanos thing is that So I presumed, yeah, it comes from, I forgot about the whole quantum thing. It comes from the quantum, so everything's tiny and teeny. I just presume that somehow with Thanos, it might have gone through his eyes or ears or his mouth. Because it does. I didn't even think about the gamma rays, but I thought with the Hulk, they couldn't break his skin. They wouldn't be able to break Thor's skin or Thanos's, but it doesn't mean it can't come through the ears or the eyes.
Yeah.
It's all guessing, isn't it? But it's a fascinating episode to guess for and to really rip into.
If the freaking zombies can shoot arrows at pinpoint accuracy, I mean, I'm pretty sure they can spit into your eye with pinpoint accuracy.
Yeah.
Everybody gets to keep their powers and their knowledge of their powers and their actions on it too.
I thought, this was just so much fun. This was just more fun from start to finish. They really relished it.
I feel like this was the one where what you guys felt about the Wakanda, about the Star-Lord T'Challa, where it's like, we're just going to throw, shit to the wind. I felt like this was the episode where I was like, oh, now this is a what if. Now we got a real what if. Like, we got Happy being there, and we got Random Guy. Who's Kurt? I don't remember a Kurt.
Oh, Kurt. Now, we figured out.
Sorry.
From Ant-Man, right?
Yeah, he's from the Ant-Man. The Russian or the Ukrainian guy.
Eastern European guy.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was my daughter who pointed out who he was. He goes, "Oh, that's the guy from Ant-Man." Oh, his accent, and then his accent. I said, "Oh, of course."
That makes sense. Oh man, really? For the three people you chose him. Could have gotten Michael Pena.
I love those guys, so I don't mind which one of them they get. Although I love Pena.
I knew T.I. would not be available, but I mean, give me Michael Pena at least,
And then he could have explained the whole zombie thing in about 30 seconds by doing his little.
Yeah, but I think they're making a whole new thing with Michael Pena, Korg, the Mandarin, that chick from Shang-Chi. It's like a super group of like really weird talkers. No, I'm just kidding.
The incredible group of comical sidekicks.
That would be funny, though. Plenty of them. Plenty of them.
I would love it.
No, the other person we're not giving the other person. The other thing, to me, is who's the real MVP of this episode. We need to give, obviously Banner was great at different points. Obviously Hope Van Dyne was great. But what about the cloak? What about Doctor Strange's cloak? Go-to man.
So at least now we finally got to understand what the Spider-Man sorcerer look was about, because we've all been speculating it whenever we saw it. We're like, oh, is there going to be what happens if Spider-Man becomes Sorcerer Supreme, which also didn't really make sense in conceptual, but it's like, what if? But we got to finally understand it. I'm not going to lie. I appreciated the there was two people on this, and I think they had the same issue. I appreciated the optimism of Peter Parker, and I think they made it work at the end. But towards the beginning, it just, I guess without realizing the exact amount of time it took for everything to go down, it just felt too fast. It felt like everything was trying to be too normal to what was going on. Like, it was the same events that happened in the early stages of Infinity War, as opposed to like, yo, you just watched your whole world. Like, I get keep the smile on, and especially if we had seen Aunt May getting bit, because we didn't really get a conclusion on that one. Never mentioned Aunt May in the people that had passed. But like, it was more just like, what? I don't know. He was just a little too kiddish at that moment, where I felt like it wouldn't have made sense. But then the other person that had the same problem was Paul Rudd's character. Like they did too much comical. Like,
why too much? I like him.
I was just like, yo, guys, like let him have more. Like he can have serious moments. He's funny because it's always dark. It's not just one line. He's not Robin Williams. Stop making him Robin Williams.
But that's how he copes with stress.
But it was overkill. It was too much.
It was just like, I get using the dad jokes, but you gotta break it up a little bit. Like you gotta give me the serious in between to let me know that he realized the situation, so that whenever he drops the dad jokes, it actually impacts. And it was just like one liner. It felt like a bad episode of Futurama with him.
Right. Yeah. So you touch on two of my little niggly things with this episode. Number one was the pace of it. Again, a lot of action sequences. And again, as far as characters concerned, which character were we along the ride with? First, starts off with Bruce Banner. Right. Then it feels it's with Hope Van Dyne. Then it feels it's with Spider-Man. Then it feels like it's T'Challa. Then it feels like it's back to Bruce Banner. Then it finishes with Spider-Man. Right. I don't know whether that was deliberate, because one of the things that they might have thought about was, let's just go from person to person in this show, because then you could think anyone can die at any one time, which happened a lot, which is great. We love that about zombie films. Like, who's going to die next? Oh my gosh, you killed that person. I didn't expect that. But it gave us no one to really link on with and someone's perspective over the long haul. Right. The second one was the use of humor, and Paul Rudd was the very worst example. There was still little bits in there. I just thought a little bit with Peter Parker. Okay, lay off the jokes. Break the coldness, break the scariness from time to time. But particularly with Paul Rudd's thing, the whole revelation of the Scarlet Zombie just got me worked up. I was like, oh yeah, the Scarlet Zombie, and then the idea that Vision might be portrayed all of them to feed the Scarlet. I was beside myself with that possibility of where that opened up.
I love that. Same.
And he kept chucking jokes in there, and I was like, no. Let's just meditate on this for a while. Let's run with this. This is super interesting.
Yeah, and it's one thing, and I like that they did that, because it still kept us connected to that WandaVision aspect. That was a lot more. But it goes back again to why these were like the scariest zombies ever. How do you be zombified and still maintain your powers at full form with full knowledge? Like, isn't it supposed to be conceptually that your primal cortex is supposed to increase, that lizard brain is supposed to increase, and your logic dies down more? But it's just like not. We just want to eat people. That's really just the difference. We just eat people. We're basically all the same, and we're just more angry. So Zombie Captain America was like, yo, wait, what? You strategize? Like, why are you going hard like this? Wait, you're available? Like, how can anyone win?
Right.
That's why you couldn't have like the Hulk end up being bitten, because then it just makes it impossible to win. Like, you can't win.
My little take on what the zombies can and can't do with the very limited time we had to process it, because there's no real explanation of it. We just had to see what we see and try to put one and one together. Was they just seemed to have the basic skills and basic instincts of the person they inhabited, and they just acted instinctually to do whatever they had to do, whatever skill set they had on them to get to their prey. Right. So Wanda just grabbed them, froze them, and dragged them in to eat them. Right.
Right.
And the reason I was thinking about this in particular what Wanda can do, is because I so wanted to see that fight between her and the Hulk. I saw a bit of it, and I was fanging for more of it, because I thought, how is that going to end up?
Right.
How does her magic work against him, right? He doesn't. The Hulk doesn't care about anything, right? We know he beat up on anyone and anything, whether he's going to win, lose, or draw, right? As we saw in Thor Ragnarok with the big guy, he just jumps at him, and so he's just running at this witch, which again, just another point. Kurt refers to her as, what was it, Baba Doo?
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga. Remember, he's going into the thing, and he says Baba Yaga's in there, the witch. Yeah. And they all, and then of course I went, oh, that's Baba Yaga. He's calling Scarlet Witch Baba Yaga. Anyway, But I just thought to myself, who would win that fight between a zombified Scarlet Witch, not
Scarlet Witch as we know
Scarlet
her,
Witch, and the Hulk, knowing that Hulk just doesn't care, he's just going to go beat up on her. Also knowing that she's not yet aware of her nexusness, whatever, because it's pre-WandaVision, right? So she's got a very limited understanding, and she did kind of get beat up a little bit in Infinity War when she got bashed up by the two.
True.
The two guys. So that's a question for you two. Who do you think is going to? Who would win that fight?
I think Hulk will win.
Just from pure
part of requires some sort of imagination. So like with the magic, but since she's like functioning on a very basic level, she's probably just gonna be throwing blasts and doing some lifting and flying and all that.
Yeah.
She doesn't have like the other things that she can do if she had her whole faculties on. And plus the Hulk, from what I remember, has some sort of like almost impervious skin.
Yeah.
That's why bullets don't hit him. So I think the Hulk will win that one.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can see that too, because exactly for that reason. Like she doesn't have the fully realized, like you said, Jason, as well, Nexus powers of post Endgame. At that point in time, it would have been the primal. Well, we can't say love attached to Vision because she would have been in zombie mode at that point. But it is the one that moves. It's just chaos magic in movement, chaos magic in gravitational holdup, but not chaos magic in reality.
Yeah, I'm just frustrated because it was mid-fight. They were just starting off, and you're thinking, oh, okay, let's go to the Hulk. Who doesn't want to see the Hulk tear away at a whole heap of zombies? Like that's just zombie heaven to see the green guy. But now up against the Scarlet Witch, she's working on those primal instincts.
Right.
He's working. He's always. I guess in some ways he's always a zombie anyway. The Hulk's always running on primal instincts anyway, if you think about it. So that was just, and then they cut away, and I was like, no, we're going to go back to that post-credit sequence. No.
Yeah, I know, right?
Better be a sequel. But they kind of saved themselves a little bit because they cut away, I think, from that fight scene, and then they've got, up jumps Hope Van Dyne as the
giant Van Dyne.
yeah. And I told the kids when she first fell down as the giant Van Dyne, and she was obviously being attacked by the zombies, I kind of said to the kids, I hope she shrinks back down. I hope she shrinks back down. She hasn't shrinks back down.
I was literally thinking that same thing because I was like, whatever the way she fell, I was like, but she's been bitten. So they don't just die. They rise back up. Also, by the way, I like to speak on the fact that these zombies waste a lot of meat. No wonder they're hungry all the time. They just eating until somebody just stops and then they turn. I'm like, how are you not devouring through the whole thing? Like, are you not hungry? Are you not hungry? You got T'Challa. Also, R.I.P. to the Denai Guerrera's character, Wakanda lady.
Oh yeah, the Dumas. Yeah. Oh no, they're all kind of.
But to my point, it's like, look, the only time I saw that they actually consumed meat was whenever it showed T'Challa with his leg chopped off, which was messed up on Vision's part. But aside from that,
Vision, do you buy into that Vision thing of them basically sacrificing Avengers for Wanda? That seemed, I liked it, but in hindsight, it's like
it seemed like a logical thing. I get it, but it felt like it was very much more. Well, I mean, I can't even say like post Endgame Vision. Like,
I don't know. It seems strange only in hindsight, but in the moment, I love the idea. I guess we're in another universe. We're in another dimension.
Yeah, so it's a different mindset. Vision. They've been hiding together and working out. He hasn't been injured, so it
and he
makes
found
sense.
his conscience pretty bloody quickly. He went 180 very quickly.
Really, very
that
high. He's like, okay, I just needed some Avenger love or semi-Avenger love to realize the error of my ways. Also, Mind Stone, not as effective as people made it out. Like, and JB, I know you want to say something because I know you use right, but like, it really kind of bothered me that as soon as the Mind Stone got out of Vision's head, that it effectively became ineffective. When the reality I would have thought would have been it just now you have the ability to move the crowd more because they're not signaling to that.
So they're heading. Oh, sorry, were you going to say something, JP?
I have a theory about that. I think when it was attached to Vision, because given his body, I think remember they were talking about broadcasting it somehow. So I think around Vision on his body, he was broadcasting like the Mind Stone signal. Once it was removed, it was broadcasting on a smaller frequency.
Yeah.
As when it was attached to him, and that's why the zombies kind of start attacking them. So I really don't understand why Vision just decided to take it off.
Well, because he knew he wasn't going to go with Wanda. He couldn't leave Wanda. I get that. And I mean, don't get me wrong. It actually makes zero sense because he turned himself off. So it's basically, I'd rather die than leave my woman's side, which, I mean,
corpse. Yeah.
But, I felt like they just wanted a reason to be able to see the Vision death. But now that it's no longer emotionally gasping to me anymore. So it was just kind of like, okay, so you killed yourself for the greater purpose of ending the zombie stuff.
Yeah. There's some different loopholes there, isn't there? When you're in the cold hard light of day, yeah.
Also, again, Wanda waking up. I don't even understand that. Like, what did you have in the glass? What stopped Wanda from being awake all this time? That whenever Bucky, I guess, shot in there. Like, was there a gas? Did I miss something there? Because Wanda was in a glass tube, and then she woke up, then she broke out, and that's whenever Bucky got T'Challa and was, like, working him out. But what was she doing? How was she asleep the entire time prior? And what the heck was the point of that glass tube? Like, some of these things, I was just like, guys.
Oh, well, watch it again. You never know what you might find. You never know.
True.
But right now, the Mind Stone is was heading towards Wakanda.
Right.
With the idea that Wakanda was safe, not knowing that somehow, what's his name, had got in there. Thanos had got in there.
From what I was seeing, I think it seems that Thanos was in New York. He probably followed Obsidian Call and Ebony Maw to New York because his followers died there, right? So you see the buildings in his back. So he's probably in New York, following his children of Thanos, and finds them there, and the zombies. That's probably how he turned. Like shoot.
Let's remind our friends to please click on the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you know when we have new videos out.
Subscribe.
Die or die.